Welcome to Nature to Nurture, Simply Caring for Our Children, where we explore the simple joys and practices of nurturing children in today's world. I'm Tiffany, your host and guide on this journey of discovery and growth. In each episode, we delve into topics that matter most to parents, caregivers, and anyone passionate about providing loving, meaningful care to little ones. From embracing traditional practices to harnessing the power of nature in child development, we cover it all with a focus on simplicity and heart. So whether you're a seasoned parent looking for fresh insights or a new caregiver eager to learn, join us as we dive into the world of nurturing care practices and celebrate the beauty of childhood. Let's embark on this journey together because every moment spent nurturing a child is a moment of beautiful connection and growth. Hi friends, welcome back to Nature to Nurture. I'm Tiffany and I am so happy that you're here with me today. This podcast is all about simply caring for our little ones, and today we're going to chat about simplifying summer morning routines. Before we dive in, let's recap our last episode, Nature-Based Learning, Sensory Exploration for Toddlers in Nature. In this last episode, we spoke about the 5 senses and how important it is to engage our toddlers in experiences utilizing those 5 senses. All right, now summer's here and we're going to use our senses again because summer is beautiful, right? Doesn't it feel like the world is just a little bit more alive? I know that I was chatting with my husband recently and we just said, oh, I love this season. We called it springy summer. Where we're at, it is still kind of springtime, but it is almost that summertime and it is just beautiful. Every morning holds the promise of new adventures under the sun, and I'm excited to share some tips to help you simplify your summer mornings for a smoother and more enjoyable start to each day. Let's talk about why having a routine during the summer is so important for both parents and kids. Routines give us predictability, which brings stability and security. And study after study shows that children with routines tend to have better emotional regulation and fewer behavioral issues. What does that mean? That means that their meltdowns aren't as extreme and aren't as long, and that you are not having to consistently remind them of how to behave and what to do because they know the routine. For parents and caregivers, routines can reduce stress and anxiety. They take away the chaos and it replaces it with manageable tasks and activities. And in doing this, it actually creates more time for you to have quality family time and bond with your children instead of trying to get a grasp on managing that morning. Regular family activities in the morning, these regular routines, these strengthen relationships, improve communication, and enhance your child's social skills and emotional resilience, their ability to bounce back after something tough happens. When we think about the school year and when we think about our summer, they look completely different. I know for myself, I have twins that are 10 years old now, and so they are in elementary school, but even before that, they were in preschool, right? And during the school year, mornings were all about getting ready for school and leaving the house on time. During the school year, we actually have to leave our house by 7:15 in the morning, and my daughter is very punctual and likes to be on time every single day, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. But it's early, right? And in the summer, we don't have any commitments until 10. And this gives me time for my own morning routine before the kids wake up. And then we can enjoy morning time together without feeling rushed. Our summer mornings always include breakfast, making sure that we are getting ready, dressed, brushing our teeth, brushing our hair, washing our face. I have to check that one. And doing some of our chores, spending some time outdoors as a family, and then doing what other tasks we might have for that day. It is very predictable, but it's also flexible. Sometimes things pop up and we need to change things around, right? Because that's life. But yet we know these are things that we do every single day without fail. Might be long time, might be a little bit of time. So I'm going to share with you a couple of quick tips to actually put this into place. Tip number 1, create a personal routine. So that means that you are going to start out by carving out time for your own morning routine. And as either a caregiver or as a parent, you need to be able to set your intention for the day. You need to make sure that you are coming into it ready to take it on, knowing what's ahead of you and not catching up. So make sure that you start off with time for yourself, whether it's 5 minutes or an hour. You need a little bit of time. Don't let the kids wake you up if you can help it. I know sometimes with little kids that's hard, but really try to wake up before them. You also want to make sure that you're hydrating for yourself in the morning and that you are doing something to give yourself a little bit of self-care. It might be journaling, reading, working out, a little bit of meditation or prayer. It could be something as simple as going into the kitchen, starting your cup of coffee, opening up the blinds, and looking outside at the sunrise. If that's all you have is a few quick seconds before you have to go wake up the kids, right? But make sure that you're doing something. You also want to make sure that you are incorporating daily tasks that get done every morning, like having breakfast, getting dressed, brushing your teeth and hair, washing your faces. I love having us make the beds, making the bed myself. And again, I'm going to repeat this, opening the blinds. That's one of my favorite things in the morning is to just go through the house, open up all the blinds. That gets us started for the day. It makes me feel alive. It gets that sunshine in, which we're going to be talking about next. Also doing a quick clean up of the area that you're in. So for my kids, that's making the bed. For myself, that's a quick wipe down of the sink and counters. If there's dishes, trying to do those real quick while the kids are getting ready and eating some breakfast. I'm usually already dressed, so I can do that while they're getting dressed as well. All right, tip number 2, including a nature activity. It is very important that you are incorporating quick morning outdoor activities to start your day. This could be something like a 10-minute walk outside, sitting in the sunshine, or enjoying a morning drink outside. And doing this with your children. So take them as you just take a quick little stroll down the driveway. Maybe you have a spot on your porch where you can just go and sit out there and they can enjoy a drink. You can enjoy a drink that might be your water that you're hydrating yourself with. Maybe it's a cup of coffee, some orange juice, and just go sit there and enjoy outside. Enjoy the sunshine hitting your skin, embracing that for 5 minutes. The benefits of spending time outdoor first thing in the morning are immense. It boosts your mood and improves your stress levels, and it increases the serotonin, which is directly correlated to your intake of that morning sunlight. This is going to help both you and the children to feel calm and ready for the day ahead. And if you are a caregiver and those kids are coming to you, maybe you are a grandparent, maybe you are a teacher or a nanny or an auntie, and those kids are coming to you, start the morning with them outdoors, both of you, and see how that changes your mood as well, right? The sunshine is so powerful for our mood. One of the things that I have embedded into my personal morning routine is, like I said, making my coffee. After my coffee is made, I will go outside and open up the chickens, giving them their food, some fresh water, letting them enjoy a bit of sunshine. And if I'm not doing this on my own, and I'm a little late to the game, I can have the kids come and join me in doing this, and we'll split up the chores. And that way, all 3 of us are outside. We are collecting the eggs, giving them food, giving them water, opening them up, watering the plants, and just spending some time together, being productive and with nature. And that leads me to my next point. Tip number 3, make sure that you are involving your kids in the routine. Involving your children in the morning routine by creating regular expected chores is so important. And it comes with holding up your end of the bargain to follow through with what you say as well. In our house, we don't do money for chores. That's a choice that you're able to make. We rather see it as an expectation. We are all members of the household, of the family, and therefore we are expected to put in our part to maintain this community. We all work together to have this household, this family, to operate with success. It's not easy, but it is beautiful when you show how we can really put in together, how we can work cohesively. One of the great things that I've loved to do to make it a little bit more exciting is to create partner chore tasks. One example is dinner. Have your children choose one night a week, or you can assign one night a week when your child will be the head chef, and your other children and family members will be the side chefs and will help to cook all the sides. The head chef is responsible for choosing what they want to cook and for leading the cooking and for really doing the main portion, right? And of course, this needs to be age appropriate, but it's a great way to give that responsibility, bring everyone together, and have that partner, that teamwork in doing a chore. I also really recommend that you assign chores that are appropriate for what your children can do. And with that being said, children can do quite a bit. Just remember that it is great to go with your children to help them learn how to do that. Learn what is expected to make it completely done, correctly done every time. And that means that you need to model it for them. So that might mean showing them how to feed the dog by opening up the food bin, getting the food out, putting it in the dog bowl, making sure that you're not spilling the dog food all over the ground. And if you are, getting the broom, sweeping it up, cleaning it up, putting the dog food away. Like making sure that they understand all of the steps to complete it appropriately. You also want to make sure that you are creating chores and routines that are fun and engaging. And I love including visuals. So if you have younger children that are not reading yet, pictures are great. There are so many examples out there in the internet web world that you can find with different types of chore charts, morning routine charts, including things such as eating breakfast, getting dressed, brushing your teeth, doing a chore, making your bed. So there are many options available. We have children that are older and are reading now, so we actually write everything out on a whiteboard, and it includes their morning routine and chores, my morning routine and chores, and our meal plan, which is really helpful. And a huge shout out, I actually learned that from Chelsea Joe, so you should check her out if you want to know more about really creating family routines. She is great with that. One last little sub tip for tip number 3 is to add a little bit of music to your morning routine. I personally love having some calm, either lo-fi hip-hop or Christian music going on in the background while I'm doing my morning routine. And I keep that on as the kids wake up and join me in theirs. And then as we progress through the morning, we can turn the music up a little bit, change the tempo, choose something different to help us get the morning started off on an energetic vibe. So if you can add music, that is always a great touch as well. Now I know that some of you are still dealing with some common challenges, so I'm going to nab a couple of those real quick for you before we wrap up our episode today. There are a few common challenges that often present themselves in the morning, such as slow eaters or reluctant dressers. And this can really be addressed by creating extra time in that schedule so that you are not frustrated about that time, as well as making sure that the kiddos are engaged in the decision making. So giving them 2 choices of breakfast so that they can choose the one they want, or providing 2 choices of clothing so they can choose the one they want. Or maybe they can even go in and pick the clothes out completely if you're willing to let them have that authority and pick something out. And also providing visual cues of what needs to be done. Again, going back to check it out on Google. You can find exactly the pictures that you need with the cute little check off for your kiddo to get through those visuals to get done what they want to get done. Another common challenge is going to be managing screen time. And simply put, don't use your screens in the morning. Get through your morning routine before screens get turned on. That is your screen and the kids' screen. And I do that simply by making sure that when I get up in the morning, one of my tasks before I wake up the kids is to put all of the remotes away. They are not accessible until we are done with our morning tasks. Now, sometimes mornings can get a little bit loud. And so this final quick tip is to whisper. Yeah, that's right, whisper. When mornings are getting loud, try to whisper and see how that affects those that are around you. Chances are that they will notice your whisper and they will whisper as well. And that can give your head a great rest. So remember, stay on your routine. Make sure that you plan a little extra time. Give yourself and your children grace when it doesn't go your way, and you're going to have an amazing morning. All right. Thank you all. You have stayed here through all of this episode, and I want to thank you so much for listening in. We talked about 3 important tips to have a successful summer morning routine. Making sure that you have your own personal morning routine before the kids are awake, adding a nature activity, and involving the kids in the routine. We also covered a couple of the common challenges that you might face in the morning, but remember that you've got this. You know what you need to do, what feels good, and what doesn't feel good. And I want to encourage you to really lean in to what your family is saying. Create a schedule that feeds your family what it needs and gives them the space and the grace to adapt to that. Next time, I'll share with you some calming techniques for stressful moments, much like the whispering that I mentioned earlier. I thank you so much for listening today, and I would love if you would actually share some of your own morning routine tips in our Facebook community. It is Nature to Nurture for parents and caregivers. You, of course, can find all of that information down below in the show notes. Don't forget to subscribe and review the podcast. And of course, you can find us on your favorite social media. If this podcast really spoke to you and you know someone who could use these words to help their mornings this summer, please share it with them. Let's use nature to nurture our little ones together.